Hill greased the wheels of politics. Falcone was the muscle. Thomas legitimized the whole enterprise with his name. Your father, Hamilton Hill, and Falcone, they were partners. Nothing happened in Gotham without them knowing.
Working with Falcone and Hill. I expected a regular accounting, not a pact with the devil.
Your father was a good man in many ways, but this was his undoing.
It must be hard being Bruce Wayne. Not only are you a billionaire playboy with a mansion and a trust fund the whole world wants to get their hands on, you're also a secret badass batsuit wearing take no bullshit vigilante who rids Gotham streets of the worst kind of evil day in day out. The juggling act of being super rich and taking on the mantle of beating up the super poor must take its toll sometimes, and though this was explored in the first episode of TellTale's latest series, it's here we see the conflict taking over Bruce. Episode 2 has a deeper story and is a richer experience overall. The classic TellTale pattern continues. As the series go on, the episodes just get better. In my review of episode 1 in TellTale's Batman series, I said the game was a unique interpretation of the Cape Crusader lore. This still holds true with episode 2, Children of Arkham, though rather than the grounded realism of Bruce Wayne's plight throughout its conflicting multi-billion-dollar playboy vigilante badass existence, the focus here is on his classic villains, and frankly, the series is all the better for it. Bruce here learns the truth about his father and his deals with Falcone. We meet Bruce at the spot his parents were gunned down. I personally find it tiresome to learn yet again about the origins of Batman. Batman v Superman solidified this. But here the story is at least weaving around that night, so delving deeper into Bruce's darkest hour is far more interesting than it ever has been before. In that particular moment though, there were some serious tech issues, primarily clipping, which appeared. The episode is a little broken in that regard, which is a damn shame, as we had hoped TellTale would finally moved on from their game's technical issues, which have plagued their game since the beginning. Sadly, the trend continues in the early stages, though no doubt an update can fix that particular issue. A meeting with Falcone through making a deal with Harvey Dent leads to a beautifully written sequence between Bruce and Falcone. It's here we learn more about the past dealings of Falcone and Thomas Wayne, and the impact that it had on Bruce's life. Great performances here by Troy Baker solidifies a moment between two polar opposite characters learning more about each other. Not that it particularly ends well for either of them. One aspect of the series I am certainly enjoying is the more stealth aspects of Batman combat decisions. Upon entering a room with a few enemies, you can link Batman's movements via enemies and props nearby. An enemy can be linked to a nearby TV, for example, if you feel like crushing some skulls, or a nearby light which bats can smash over their heads. There's not a huge amount of variety in terms of what you can link them to, but the enemies are sure going to feel it whatever you do. The first episode we met Selina Kyle, our first encounter with another famous Gotham resident. In episode 2 we learn more about her involvement with Cobblepot and what it is he wants from her. Naturally, Bruce is out to ensure Selina is as far away from Cobblepot as possible, and a sequence in a bar called the Stack Deck, which is far and away the finest moment in the series so far. As the bar fills with minions of the Penguin, Selina and Bruce take them all down one by one in a beautifully realised sequence, which is technically and hugely impressive, slick and choreographed brilliantly. Doubling up Selina and Bruce is a terrific idea, with Troy and Laura Bailey so naturally playing off each other. The amount of work they've done together before must be a huge contributing factor to this. The dialogue is terrific between them both and is definitely a high point of the episode. There's always one classic TellTale moment in each of their series. This could just be the one from Batman. However, it's still early days, and we hope to see more. The more the merrier, as they say. It's fair to say this is a far more grounded tale than what we've seen recently in other incarnations of Batman. If you think of it more like Christopher Nolan rather than Zack Snyder, you've got a good idea of what TellTale are aiming for. If Batman was a HBO TV series, it would probably look like this. The focus going on corruption and city halls, DAs, elections, police officers, the blueprints of the Dark Knight are all over this, and it works in the game's favour. TellTale games have always been about the people involved, going all the way back to the first series of The Walking Dead, and possibly even further. The darkness of Bruce Wayne is delicately picked over in each sequence, and we can see he's battling with keeping his name afloat amongst the scandals that are breaking down his empire, along with keeping his hands clean and not just throwing his weight around every corrupt official he can find. He's just about ready to break. A Batman unhinged is not something you want to come across if you're a member of the criminal classes in Gotham. This is a man who has too many balls in the air and is struggling to catch them all. His cool facade being broken down by revelations of his family's past and the involvement of Alfred, his closest confidant. He's also on the hunt for Cobblepot to take down this revolution before it gets too out of control, if it's not done so already. As Bruce learns more about the truth of the night his parents were killed, more secrets about everyone around him are uncovered, and Bruce is struggling with who to trust. One could argue his best friend, Harvey Dent, is only using Bruce for his financial input into his election campaign. A sequence near the end solidifies this particular notion, though not directly. Batman by design has always had a habit of going in too deep and those around him suffer the most. See Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight. Granted, that's a classic superhero narrative. Spider-Man, Superman, Iron Man, all of them? Maybe? I don't know. The narrative at play here naturally goes off in so many different directions. It's a credit to the writers of the series. It all makes some kind of sense. Bruce Wayne has to be cold and distant in some regard, in part to keep his friends and allies safe from villains he creates. Eventually, something, or someone, is going to give. What will Bruce Wayne save in order to protect Gotham and those he loves? Well, it's a TellTale game. That's completely up to you. Batman Episode 2 Children of Arkham is a spectacular episode, and one that's very worthy of our Gold Award.
Just so we're clear, you and me, we're on shaky ground.
Jim, listen.
No, listen to me. The excessive violence, it can't go on.
Some culture.